Hello and good morning. My name is Cody, also known as Just Two Eyes. Now, video game movies for a long time have sucked. They really sucked. Not all of them, but the majority of them are absolutely terrible. For one reason or another, whenever a video game is being adapted into the big screen movie, they suck. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, because people want money and they prefer money over actual content, and it ruins the content. It brings down the story, it brings down everything, and for some reason no one has learned from these mistakes. It's weird. Now, there are two big time movies that have graced the top of the hill, that has seen the light. That is Mortal Kombat and Tomb Raider. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. Don't get me wrong, other movies are pretty decent from their video game counterpart, but those two are almost on everyone's list, somewhere on there, and they're talked about the most as, well, at least there was this movie. And I'm going to explain to you why those movies did okay and why all the others suck. They actually followed the game. They took the content from the game, put it into the movie, and did it. It was great. Mortal Kombat, the story was more of the sprinkles on the cake, not the icing, just the sprinkles on the dry cake that is Mortal Kombat. There was a tournament where they killed people to make it up to the top. There were actual characters with character names that were based off the characters from the game. There were character moves and abilities and skills and callbacks to the game. Like, it was heavily game based with alright story on top of it. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. They got the look. They got the character. They have the badass action scenes with the guns and the monsters and all this other stuff like from the game. I don't remember the story from the movie at all. I remember the badass stuff from the video game that was in the movie, because that's what mattered. That's what stuck out, and it worked well because it was from the game. And there are a lot of other movies that have gotten the game content right, but have severely messed up on everything else, so much to the point where it ruined it. Prime example, Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia looks like the game, like it plays like the game. You have your acrobatic moves, you have your acrobatic fight scenes, you have kind of a quick-witted character who is kind of like the main character. I mean, he didn't talk much, but when he did, he was a smartass. And you know, most importantly, the dagger that reverses time. You can't really leave that out. I mean, if you did. And it was another situation where the content of the movie was from the game, and it worked, but the story was so bad it just dragged the rest of it down, because the story for Prince of Persia was sad. And now this newly released movie, Assassin's Creed, sorry, got them confused. That movie was just barely anything. It had elements from the game, but it didn't have content, it didn't have story. It had the core mechanics, which it still messed up, where this guy got dragged into Abstergo, put into the Animus, and sent into his ancestors' memory and became an assassin. Which, you know, is the core of all the games. But at the same time, I don't know, it failed miserably. Because having video game content is one thing. That's cool all by itself. But trying to make up this whole new story with this whole new world and this whole new character, and then trying to play it out to fit all audiences, really brings it down. And it really sucks. Okay, hear me out. Imagine if they took Assassin's Creed, the first game, took that story and made it into a movie. Take out all the hours of just riding around, killing people, finding all the towers, finding all the flags, and all this other stuff. Take all of that out. Imagine the story of this young man who was born and raised and bred into the Guild of Assassins, or Creed of Assassins, if you will. And have a little moment in the beginning of the movie, like maybe 2 minutes, of him as a child coming into this life, having a natural skill and these abilities and this agility to become a perfect assassin. And his master saw it and he raised him. And that'll put more power into the line from the game when he said, Altair, do you think of another life, or do you imagine yourself in another life? And Altair responds, this is the only life I ever knew. You know, why would I think something else? It's loosely something like that. And those lines would have more power if we saw him as a kid being brought into it. And it is all he knew. And as the story progresses and he assassinates, you know, these people, they tell him secrets. They tell him things that not only make him second guess his master, but second guess himself, second guess his life and what he's been doing. And of course, we have a montage of him killing certain people. And how many people do we have to kill in the first Assassin's Creed game? You montage through about 5 of the 10 total assassinations in the main story of the game. And in the montage, you know, he's collecting new gear, he's finding out these new secrets, and in those moments, it's not really about the kills, it's about him trying to figure out what is his master really up to. Why am I killing this certain group of people? And then you mirror that with Desmond in the real world, who wakes up every so often, like maybe 3, possibly 4 times throughout the whole movie, not a lot. And when he wakes up, you know, he finds these secrets, he hears these conversations, and he starts to think, why am I here? Why are they using me to find something? Why are they trying to access my ancestors' memory? Instead of it mirroring just the fight moves that they both do at the same time, which is... Then, towards the end of the movie, at the end of the movie, Altair and Desmond both find out that these Templars are after the Piece of Eden. And Altair must fight his master with these abilities that the apple has given him. So he has to use all of his skills that he's learned throughout his entire assassin life to kill his master and take the Piece of Eden and find out what it's meant for. And mirror that, like when he picks up the Piece of Eden, that's when you mirror it with Desmond, not during the fight. After the fight, because Altair has picked up his Piece of Eden, it allows Desmond to now see secrets, to see these hidden messages on the wall, and lead him to think, who put these here? Where did they come from? Are these messages for me? Roll credits. After credit scene, Desmond looking at the wall, trying to figure out what it means. What's her face walking in and saying, we need to go. And then they walk out of the room. And then clip to this coffin, not coffin, what was it, library? A tomb, library tomb. And this assassin walks in. You can't really see him all too well. He's kind of big. He's wearing all gray, big, thick, gray and black beard. Pulls off his thing. You see it's Ezio. Camera pans around. He sees dead Altair with the Piece of Eden in his hand, because that's where he chose to die. Cut to black. End the movie. Think about that. How amazing is that? Like, can you imagine if they actually... That's what they need to do. They need to take these beautiful, amazing, wonderful stories and just make them live action. Don't adapt them to anything. Don't change the mood. Don't change the tone. The reason why we love these games so much and why we get excited for the movies, even though they failed, is because we love the stories. Yeah, Assassin's Creed is nice because you walk around and you stab people and you steal money and you do all this other stuff and you leap off tall towers. But it was the story that got us. It was. And if they did that, I think it would have turned out better. And hopefully they'll take this and do that in the future. Don't ever make Halo the movie. Okay? If anyone in high power is watching this, please, I beg you with everything that I am, do not make Halo into a movie. Because I love the story of the first 3 games. First 3 game story is amazing. Have you ever thought about Halo, the story? Play through the first 3 games actually pay attention to the story and think about it. Like the shooting around, walking, and all of that, that's fun. But the story is amazing. Don't fuck it up. But that'll be that. So if you like what I'm doing, you want to see what else I'm doing, like, share, comment, subscribe. Sorry that I talked so much in this one. I just had a lot to say. So, yeah.